Hello everyone and welcome to the first F1 24 video on this channel. In today's video we start our F1 driver career starting in F2. We're going to be racing for Prema with Ollie Bearman as our teammate. Now we're going to do a 3-race season with short race format on with one-shot qualifying, and the first of these races is in Austria, which is a track that I do quite like. Enjoy this track and I hope this will be a good first race for us.
The new season starts now. I'm Alex Jakes, Alex Brundle is alongside me, and it is time to restart Formula 2. We're so excited to be back. Alex, what are you expecting from this season?
Put 22 of the world's best young racing drivers in a pot, some great venues, press go, and it kicks out a champion. I cannot wait to see who comes out on top at the end of the year.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
So as we line up in 4th position, ready to start the formation lap here, ahead of a 5-lap race on the super soft tyre compound. Jump the formation lap, start a little bit there, just going to stay ahead of Deruvla. Despite the fact that we shouldn't really be ahead of us.
How was that
oh well.
away? You'll have a bit more grip than that on the start, but we need to warm the tyres properly now. Make sure you get some heat into the brakes as well.
But whilst we've got a few minutes as we do this formation lap, warming the tyres up, I can tell you about the other 2 races in this season. Round number 2 will be Britain, and round 3 will be Abu Dhabi to finish off. And after Abu Dhabi we'll be looking at selecting our first Formula 1 team, putting pen to paper on our first contract. Hopefully with a half-decent team for our first season. As I would like to fight for World Championships, obviously that being everyone's F1 goal. But now as we get halfway through sector 2, still trying to figure out the best way to warm these tyres up in this car. The super soft tyres seem sensitive to some things and not to others. Just trying to bear in mind tyre wear as well, don't want to start this race with worn tyres. We'll be looking to set a good first impression here in the race, show that we've got good race pace to all potential future F1 teams that we could be a part of. It looks like now, just going to check the tyre temperatures coming through the last 2 corners. It looks like we've got them warmed in quite nicely there. Managed to get all the temperature in sector 2. As we now come to line up in our grid box for the first time in Formula 2, getting ready to go racing.
Decent parking. Let's try and get a good launch as the lights go out. Keep an eye on the lights. The start sequence will begin as soon as the grid is formed. Be ready with the clutch.
And for the first time in our career, we're going to look to the 5 red lights. 3, 4, 5. And it's lights out, and away we go here in Austria for the F2 race. Not the best start as Hadjar pulls ahead of us just alongside us. They're going into turn 1. It looks like Deruvla might have a move on Bearman. We're going to go side by side with Hadjar all the way through turn 1. Going up the hill now, he has a bit of a better exit than us. Can we pull it back for turn 2? We want to try and hold on to P4 and look to move forwards. As Deruvla and Bearman go side by side. Deruvla has a lock-up, big mistake there. That's going to let us sneak past there, up onto the podium in P3. Behind Ollie Bearman, as Théo Pourchaire looks like he might be trying to run away with this race, putting an 8/10 lead from Ollie Bearman. We're about half a second down in a minute. We're going to look to bring that time down. Get close to our teammates. We've got a little bit deep there. Into turn 3. Falling a couple of tenths behind Ollie as Deruvla looks like he wants to get past us there. Had a good run through there. Half a second now separates the 2 Prema cars. That time keeps falling away now as Théo Pourchaire pulls a 1.2 second gap to us. He's got an 8/10 lead over Ollie Bearman right now in the first race of this Formula 2 season. Bit of a lock up there on the front right. We're going to look like we're going to gain a lot of time though on Bearman there. 2/10 down. 2/10 down. On the fellow Brit and Prema teammate that we've got in these first 3 races of our career. As we start lap 2 now, just under 2/10 separates us. We're going to get a decent exit out of turn 1 there. Might give us the opportunity into turn 2 to get a dive done We'll have to wait and see. As we're going to brake ever so slightly later than him. We're going to really close up, maybe a little bit of contact there. As we're going to really lose the rear end. Big snap of oversteer there. That's going to cost us time. As our engineer is telling us to try and get past Behrman to avoid the dirty air punishment there. However, so far being on the podium in our first ever race in this career is pretty impressive, I'd say. Really showing what we're capable of here in Austria. But for me personally, this is not enough. We want more. We want the win. We want our first win to come in our first race. That's a real statement. That really shows all the Formula 1 teams that we will be looking to sign with that we can deal with pressure, that we can perform. As we go for a move there, a little bit of a lock-up. We're going to really try and keep behind Behrman here, tuck into that slipstream as best as possible, as Behrman sets the fastest lap in this race.
Okay, mate, okay, Ollie's ahead. We can't let them hold us up for too long, so let's try and get past as soon as possible and crack on. Push, push.
Now, is that team orders? It doesn't look like it, as Behrman is not slowing down at all here. It looks like just a personal goal from the engineer to try and get past Behrman, as we're going to absolutely send it into turn 2. Massive dive, bit of a lock-up. We're not going to get the exit. A little bit of a wobble. Behrman's going to take the advantage back away from us now. DRS has been enabled on this lap. That's going to leave Porsche at a massive disadvantage. As we're going to go for another move on Behrman down the inside. Big lock-up there from us. Can we get the power down on the inside? Just about. We're going to sneak ahead of Behrman there. Now we're going to look forward to Teo Porsche. Behrman looks like he might try to re-overtake, but no, we're going to shut the door on that idea very quickly. As we're going to try and close up to Porsche on lap 3, looking to get an overtake done with DRS maybe, down the main straight. As we're tucked into Teo Porsche's slipstream, we're going to try and get a move done here into our most dominant 2 corners on this track. We're going to try and pull alongside, sending a dive into the final corner. That was ambitious, it's worked. We have DRS, that's going to give us a big advantage here.
Brilliant, nice.
As Porsche tries to keep up in the slipstream, we set fastest lap, but we very quickly lose it. As we're going to try and hold our nerve through turn 1 here. For the first time ever, we are leading a race. As we now head up the hill into turn 2, Porsche with DRS. Is he going to try a re-overtake on us? He's going to move to the inside. Can we hold it? He's going to take the position away from us with the dive bomb. He's going to get a good exit there. We're going to be scrambling for power. Can we try and come back at him though? With the DRS wide open now. Heading down into turn 3. Braking, he's going to try it around the outside. We're going to hold our line on the inside. Try and force him wide. As it's now a drag race down to turn 4. We're going to get very close to contact there. As Teo Porsche tries to push us onto the outside, we're going to switch him back into turn 4. Down the inside of him, that's going to send him very wide there. That was a brilliant move there from us. Very ambitious, very aggressive. Really showing this Formula 2 grid that we are here to fight for the championship and the Formula 1 seat. We are not here to mess around at all. As we go into sector 3 now, last 2 corners to start the final lap of this Grand Prix. We've got a half a second lead over Teo Porsche right now, with Behrman 7/10 back. Fastest lap is held by Daruvla in P4 right now. As we go into turn 1 for the final time. Up the hill now. Porsche is going to get DRS, but is he too far back to make a move? It's going to be close as he keeps gaining 3.5 tenths, 3 tenths. He's not close enough to get the move on us. He's going to get very close to us in the braking. We're going to have another little wobble on the exit there. It's been a very difficult corner for us all race. Maybe not got the rear end for it. Straight onto the grass a little bit there without concentration. We're going to defend Porsche now. We're going to move to the middle of the track, send him round the long way, and that's just going to give us an advantage as we can force him onto the gravel now. We choose the line, but he's going to have better traction now. He's going to make a little bit of contact there. He's going to try it down the inside. We're going to block him off very aggressively as we are here for this win. We're not here to give it up to a Frenchman. 5/10 lead as we go in to the last 2 corners. Can we bag our first win ever in our career in Formula 2 in Austria for Prema? As we have a little bit of a lock up there, big wobble there on the exit there, scary moment. And now we come down the back straight. The checkered flag is waving as we take our first win in this career in Formula 2.
Superb driving. That is the race win, my friend. Well done.
as now we look to the second race in this season, going to try and carry this brilliant momentum that we've just built forwards to our home race at Silverstone.
It is the Formula 2 race. It is time to introduce you to Alex Brundle. I'm Alex Jakes, and we've got changeable weather out there today. That's making for some nervous team personnel down in the paddock, down in the pit lane.
Well, uncertainty is what strategy's all about, but it absolves the teams from the responsibility of running both compounds of tyre. They might have to use that wet tyre, of course, and then the question is, where do those crossovers lie between the wet and dry conditions?
Right, mate, I know it's your home Grand Prix, but I want you to treat it like any other race. Let's not make any unnecessary risks, please.
As we line up after qualifying in P3, however, with it being a race in Britain, we've got torrential rain. But no matter, we're going to go to full motion lap, we're going to try and get these tyres warmed up, and try and have a decent race here. As now we come round back to the start line to line up in our grid box number 3 here. Behind Porsche, Ollie Behrman to our right there in P2, looking to make up these 2 positions and fight for the race win here, but if that's not possible, a podium would still be very
Superb
acceptable.
parking there, mate. Let's make sure we get the edge on the surrounding drivers as the lights go out. Okay, so that's the rest of the grid forming up now. Be patient.
As we go to 5 red lights for the second race in this Formula 2 season. And it's lights out, and away we go. Us and Porsche have a bad start. Behrman's going to capitalise on that, taking the lead early in this race. We're going to try and follow him through, get ourselves into P2. As we're going to try it around the outside of Porsche now into turn 2. Wheel to wheel as we head towards the braking zone to turn 3. We're going to be a bit cautious on the brakes, a bit of a wobble from the rear end. Get the move on Porsche done. Now we can look forwards and just concentrate on getting ahead of our teammate now to secure this win. As these wet conditions provide a big challenge for us as we drift wide as we come onto the Wellington straight. Headed down into Brooklands corner. Can we close this gap to Behrman now? Braking just before the 50 board, they're going to drift a little bit wide on entry. Now as we head into Luffield, closing the gap onto Behrman more, down to 3/10 now. As we're going to try and stay tucked under his rear wing as much as possible as we head down to Copse Corner now, trying to get a slipstream advantage. There'll be no DRS in this race as of the wet conditions. So the only advantage we get in a straight line is from the slipstream of the car ahead. It's now 2/10 to Behrman in front. Can we get a move into Maggots and Beckett's? As we're going to look to the right hand side of him, down the inside of Maggots, up now through Beckett's. We're going to hold our advantage. Half a second to Behrman behind after that move. Through turn 13 now, as we open the throttle all the way to fly down the hanger straight towards Stowe Corner. Behrman has a better exit, he's 4/10 behind now, he's closing that gap very slowly. As we head towards Stowe now, braking just on the 50 board. Very, very wide there, the car not wanting to turn in these wet conditions. A big snap of oversteer there, drifting through the exit. As we head towards Club Corner now, going to brake earlier than I would normally. Really trying to work out where this car wants to be in these wet conditions. Not quite found that point yet. Very cautious on the exit of Club as we head down the pitch straight now. Starting the second lap with a 3/10 lead over Behrman. Heading into Abbey. Being really aggressive with this car. Going to go very wide. Big understeer there. Car not wanting to turn at all in these wet conditions. Not quite got the setup right by the looks of it. Behrman's going to close the gap a little bit as we try and get Village and the loop done nicely. Not quite going to happen though, as we have a big snap of oversteer in the exit of turn 4. Heading onto the Wellington straight now with Behrman half a second back. Wide once again through turn 5. But we're going to keep our lead. Behrman's going to get a nice slipstream though into Brooklands corner. Big understeer there, turns to big oversteer as we're drifting on the exit. Now into Luffield. Can we keep this car stable and planted? No, we can't. It's another snap of oversteer. Behrman is now 9/10 behind us, 8/10. It's a bit of grass there as we just lose our concentration yet again. 4/10 gap, 3/10 gap, 2/10. Behrman's close. Will he make a move into Copse? Not quite brave enough for that, but he's going to stay close to us. 2/10 gap. We're going to gain a little bit of time. Headed down towards Maggots. 3/10 going into Maggots and Beckett's now separate the two British drivers. It's going to be very careful with this car, not wanting to have any silly accidents in this race. As we take a lot of curb there in turn 13, we've got a second to Behrman now. Being careful through Maggots and Beckett clearly works as we head down the hanger straight towards Stowe Corner. Going to brake a bit earlier this time. Still have understeer through that corner, but missed the apex by 1 with a big drift on the exit. Not quite learning lap to lap yet. Still a bit more to go as we're going to brake too early really there. But it's going to keep the car very stable. Behrman's going to gain 2 tenths on us in that braking zone for Club Corner. Once again, caution on the exit. It's now half a second to Behrman as we go into lap 3. We set the fastest lap.
Okay,
Gets taken by an overlap.
at the moment. Please try and look after them.
Engineer sets us an objective for tyre wear, not one that I'm really bothered about as the tyre wear isn't that bad. It is a 5-lap race, so I'm going to push all out for the 5 laps. Behrman closes up to us now as we head into turn 4. 2 tenths separate the 2 British drivers. Another bit of a wobble on the exit. Still struggling in these wet conditions. Going to go wide again as we're heading towards straight. A lot of grass there. Behrman's going to try to come past us. We're going to shut the door on him. That might give Porsche an opportunity to get past Behrman as they go wheel to wheel into Brooklands Corner. Maybe a bit of contact there. This is going to be very helpful to us as we go wide. Heading through Luffield now. Really struggling to get this car to put its power down without losing its rear end. We've now got 3 tenths to Porsche, who's now taken P2 from Ollie Behrman. As we head now towards Cops Corner. Try and extend this lead a little bit more to what I consider this. We have a massive drift there through Cops. Big moment on the rear end. As that might invite Porsche to try and have a look. They're going to send it through Maggots and Beckett yet again. It's going to give us a bit more advantage. A lot of curb there. Big bumps, but we're going to hold our confidence, hold our nerve, keep the car on the road. Get the power back on for the hanger straight now. This Porsche is half a second back on us. Heading into Stowe Corner. Get a much better run through Stowe that time. Really holding that inside line a lot better as we head into Club. Braking just on the 100 there. 8 tenths now to Porsche. Got a second to Porsche for a brief moment there, but our steady Club exit is going to mean that lead immediately diminishes to about half a second as we head on to lap 4. Porsche is going to get very close now. 3 tenths, 2 tenths. Heading to turn 1, we're going to be much more ambitious on that power. Porsche is going to have a better run for turn 2 and 3. 4 tenths separate us as we go into the braking zone for Village. Porsche is going to get very close on the exit there. Going through the loop now as we have a big moment there. Car stalls on the apex, struggling to get the power back down now as Porsche is going to take the lead away from us as we head onto the Wellington Straight. Tuck into his slipstream as we head down towards turn 6 now.
Okay,
Braking a bit early, going to try and get a nice line. Turned in too early for that corner there. Big snap of oversteer now. Heading through Luffield, can we look down the inside of him? No, there's not quite enough grip as we have a bit of a wobble. Trying to find the grip, we're going to tuck right under his rear wing as we head through Woodcut and head toward Cops now. 2 tenths separate us. We are just gaining in the slipstream. Not quite enough room for moving Cops. Did not fancy murdering Théo Pourchaire, our championship rival.
Look out for a bit of understeer when
but now as we go into Maggots and Beckett again, we're going to make the same move we made on Behrman early in lap 1. That's going to give us the lead back over Théo Pourchaire. As we now just try and keep this car stable, which is not looking like it wants to do. That might give Théo Pourchaire an opportunity down the hanger straight. He's going to tuck into our slipstream. Just over a tenth separates us as he might look around the outside of Stowe Corner. Not a lot of grip out there though, not a lot to work with in these wet conditions. As we're just going to hold to the apex line. Heading into Club Corner, 3 tenths separate me and Porsche now. As we exit Club Corner and head down the main pit straight to start the final lap of this race. Porsche is once again going to get a brilliant exit. It's going to start closing that gap down yet again as we head through Abbey. Keep it tidy there. He's going to continuously look for that move. We go a bit defensive. into Village now, covering off Porsche. Don't want to lose this race in the last lap as we have another big drift on the exit. Just get the apex, but another big drift again. Really struggling still with this car. A short shift a few times to try find some grip on the rear end. Dropping back down to find the speed again. That's not worked for us. Porsche is going to have a much better run. It closes the gap to 2 tenths, 1.5 tenths as we go into Brooklands. Big lock up on the brakes. Way too tight on the corner. Really struggling to get this car to work as we head through Lovefield for the last time now. Going to keep steady line, but once again the rear end steps out on us. However, we have made half a second out of Porsche now as we head down to Cox Corner for the final time in this Formula 2 car. We're going to keep it very careful through Cox. Don't want to make any mistakes. As we head into Maggots and Beckett's with 6 tenths over Porsche. This has been my strongest point of the track this whole race. Hopefully we can build it up to about a second, which we've managed to do. 1.2, 1.3 now, 1.5 seconds even to Teo Porsche. On to the exit, onto the hangar straight as we head down to Stoke Corner for the last time. As we set a purple sector 2. On the last lap of this race, on the worn wet compound tyres, that seems quite impressive actually. As now we've got a 1.5 second lead over Teo Porsche as we head into Club Corner. 3 more turns now, then we have brought home a home race victory here. We're going to be very cautious on the exit of Club, just keeping the car stable, not letting the revs creep up too high, and we've done it. We have won our home Grand Prix here in Formula 2. In our first ever home race, we've brought home the #1 position, and now we can look to Abu Dhabi for the finale.
It all comes down to this. I'm Alex Jakes, Alex Brundle is alongside me, and for the final time this season, we're about to go racing. Alex, you're looking to sign off in some style.
So are the drivers and teams. It's a really important race for everyone here, despite the fact it's the end of the year. They know that everything they do in this event is going to echo for months through the end of the season.
Right, I know you're hot in the cockpit, but your tyres are going to be even hotter. You're going to have to work extra hard today to keep them cool.
As we arrive at the Yas Marina circuit, qualified on pole, actually our first career pole here at Abu Dhabi, which is a track I've been finding quite difficult in F2. Really struggled to get the car into a good operating window, but we're here to race, we're here to get on with it despite that, so we'll do our best to hold on to this pole position for this race. Don't know if we'll manage it or not, but racing's racing. Anything can happen after the lights go out.
Okay, that's not an ideal placement in your grid slot. You're going to need a good launch at the race start. Keep an eye on the lights. The start sequence will begin as soon as the grid is formed. Be ready with the clutch.
And as we look to the 5 red lights for the last time in Formula 2. And it's lights out, and away we go, racing in Abu Dhabi. Good start, managed to keep the lead away from Iwasa. Behrman in P3, Porsche down in P5, who is the man we are battling with for the championship. It doesn't really matter as long as we get the podium here. We do win this championship. But it would be nice to seal a win for our final race here as Iwasa and Behrman are battling all the way through Sector 1. Come in. Big snap of oversteer there onto the main back straight. Trying to get the power down now to hold on to this position. Iwasa's going to tuck into our slipstream. Behrman's going to try and get past him going into the start of Sector 2. Long train forming now, as that's Teo Porsche looking to make a move on Deruvula, and even Behrman as well. Behrman's going to hold him off though. Behrman's going to keep the podium. Porsche's going to take it back on the exit. As me and Iwasa are pulling away a little bit from the pack, 8 tenths from Iwasa to Porsche. Iwasa's looking like he's got very strong pace here. Can we hold on to this lead, or is it going to be taken away from us? As we drift a little bit wide, going to take a line, a bit of an unorthodox line to try to defend from Iwasa, but he's going to find a better one, go straight down the inside there in Sector 3. He's not mucking about, he's here for this race win. And as you can see, we are struggling quite a bit here. A very, very lively rear end It worked for us in qualifying, but it's not really working for us in the roads. We are struggling to keep this car where we want it to be, so we have a bit of a lock up into the final corner. A bit of a poor exit as well.
Okay, you're in the dirty air of the car in front, let's get past them.
As Iwasa pulls away a little bit there, can we close back up in sector 1? Trying to keep this car under control on the curbs. As we do close up in this slipstream, we've had a very good run. Down to this next corner here, can we get a move on Iwasa from 2/10 back? Not quite, it's purple sector 1 though. Can we maybe steal fastest lap away from Iwasa? As we're going to try to stay in his slipstream, try get the speed advantage here, get past him on the straight. As we go into sector 2, he's going to still outbrake us though. This car really not happy. He's going to have a lock up though. Very slow on that first apex. We're going to take too much curb bounce in there. Not ideal for the car. Not ideal for the racing either. Iwasa's pulled 6/10 away from us now, nearly 7. As we look to try close that gap back down in sector 3. Absolutely throwing the car through this corner. We're going to really close up there. Have to correct a bit of oversteer on the exit. That's going to cost us a little bit of time. Go in. Nice run through there, right on the apex. Just a little bit of a wobble there on that curb. Even bigger wobble on that curb. But we've closed the gap down to 2/10. Back to Iwasa. Can we snatch this lead back away and win our final race in F2 to seal this championship? As we head on to lap 3 now. Just under 2/10 separates us and Iwasa. As DRS will be enabled on this lap, we'll be looking to make a move to snatch this lead back away from him. As long as we can hold on to his rear end in sector 1. As the dirty air is really giving me a hard time now. As we get very close through that corner, can we keep the 4 wheels in the right direction? Yes, and now the DRS is going to come opening that rear wing up. This will give us a big speed advantage, should make the pass quite easy. As we get past him going into sector 2 now, up through this tight 2 corners that I do struggle with. Big curbs here, very happy to throw the car around as we have another snap of oversteer. This rear end not working at all for us, this setup not doing what we want it to. As Iwasa closes back up to us, as he looks like he's going to go for the move down the inside. We're going too wide here in the sector 3, we're going to cover it off, keep our lead. As Porsche now maybe looks to make the move on Iwasa to get himself up into P2 and challenge us for this race win. Taking a bit of a defensive line there. Not really necessary, Iwasa's half a second back, but after that dive he sent into that corner early on in the race, not taking any chances. As we're just trying to keep this car stable, we're going to really have to baby it through this 3rd sector now. As we gain a little bit of an advantage. Heading on to lap 4. On far way too early, big snap of oversteer, big correction there. That's going to allow Iwasa to just drive past us. We're going to cover off Porsche, trying to go around the right hand side of us. That's not ideal. Another bit of a wobble there on that curb. The car not behaving at all for us here at Yas Marina. Can we get this lead back with 2 laps left? As we brake on about 60 metres, lock up and a big snap of oversteer there going onto the back straight. That's going to cost us a lot of time now. That might give Porsche an opening. We're still going to keep DRS though. We're 1.2 seconds down now. This race win is slowly slipping away from us as the silly mistakes creep in this final race. Porsche looks like he might be ready to take away P2 as well. Unless Behrman can keep him occupied, fighting that out for the last podium position. But Iwasa keeps his 2nd lead. That's going to stop us from getting DRS down this straight, which is going to give Porsche a speed advantage. Going into the start of sector 3. Can you make a move on us? Not quite. We're going to keep it behind. As we come through sector 3, a place that we've learned I'm quite easily overtaken. Not too confident in this sector. We're going to completely miss our braking zone. Big lock up, big sideways moment off the track. We're going to rejoin, probably a little bit unsafely. FIA aren't going to take 2 looks at it though. We're going to let that one slide. We're going to keep the lead from Porsche, but Iwasas keeps sneaking away from us. 1.2 seconds now. Porsche half a second behind. We're just going to try and hold on to P2 now, not worry about the lead, as that's realistically out of reach. DRS is quite important at Yas Marina as we head on to lap 5, the final lap. Can we hold on to second place as we're drifting it through the first corner? That might give Porsche a chance, but it looks like our minimum speed through the Sector 1 quick corners is better than Porsche's. We pull our lead back to just over 4/10 as we head into this braking zone. Porsche closes up on us, a little bit more confident on the brakes. We're going to keep it smooth on this exit. Don't want any other silly snaps of oversteer. As now Porsche's going to get the DRS on us. We're going to be left pretty much defenceless against any attack he can send on us now. As he's going to go for the move down the right hand side of us. Can we try and get it back straight away into these next corners? No, we can't. We're going to go side by side with Ollie Behrman now. Potentially going to lose the podium as now we look forwards to hold on to Porsche with the DRS. Can we get a re-overtake done? It's going to be very close going into Sector 3 now. Can we potentially secure a P2 or is it going to be a P3? Iwasa's going to definitely win this race now without any slips. We're going to get very close to Porsche. A little bit of contact with his rear wheel, nothing serious. As we go into the final part of Sector 3. Send a massive dive bomb here, very ambitious, big contact there, big contact. In the heat of the moment, we're not even going to think about giving the position back to the Frenchman. We're just going to limp home with this medium wing damage that we've now got on that front left side. We're coming through the last two corners now to take P2 in the final race of this F2 season, as maybe we can get noticed by an F1 team to get a sign in.
Yes, and that's a podium. Excellent drive. The whole team have worked especially hard this weekend, and that, my friend, is a fantastic reward. Well done.
As we now head to Monaco to meet our agent about an F1 signing.
Finally, let's do this for real. Sorry it took so long. You know what these legal types are like? Yes, sir. No, sir. Here's 80 pages of needless jargon, sir. Anyway, believe it or not, this is my excited face. Come on, come on. Let me show you what we've got. So, all the usual stuff. Merchandising, likeness, blah, blah, blah. But the really juicy stuff is their expectation of you. They need you to challenge yourself all season, be the best you can be, dominate your teammate, become a legend. All that jazz. Now, it's over to you.
As now we're looking at the clipboard with the paper on it. We're going to set a target of 80 rated for the end of our first season in F1, and as you can see, it is a sign-in with Silverstone-based British manufacturer Aston Martin. As here we are in the green racing suit, very excited to be part of this team and very excited to be racing with the two-time world champion of Fernando Alonso this season for our first season in Formula 1. Hopefully we can learn a lot from him, advance our driving skills a lot, learning from his techniques and the stuff he's picked up over his 20-year career in Formula 1. But hoping that Aston Martin, we can get them to a better point than they've been in the real life 2024 season. And if you have been following it, you'll know that it's been pretty bad for Aston Martin this year. But this isn't the real life season, this is our season, and we're going to be getting ready to go to Bahrain in the next episode. If you have enjoyed this F2 Prologue video, I would really appreciate it if you could like and subscribe. Really does help me out a lot, and I'm hoping to continue this series on for a couple of seasons in this game. Thank you all for watching.